You know, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Senator Rand Paul. Always have. I don't agree with everything he says, but most of the time he makes sense, except when it comes to issues like health care. Now, this is a clip of Senator Rand Paul talking to Aaron Burnett. I want you to listen to this clip, and then I'll talk to you afterward.
If you allow the marketplace to work, the wonder and beauty of capitalism, the invisible hand that Adam Smith talked about, is that when everybody strives through self-interest to maximize their profit, interestingly, the great side benefit of this is supply and demand curves cross, and you distribute the most amount of goods at the least amount of cost.
Except
this
for, isn't it true in the case of health, right? But in the case of healthcare, don't you end up in a situation where we all like to think that we're not going to get sick? So I'm going to buy the cheapest plan I can for my current situation, and then, God forbid, I get sick. I'm not going to bought the right plan for it. I mean, in a free market, that's going to happen all over the place. That's part of the problem here.
Well, what we should do is, rather than dictate to people what kind of insurance they can get, we should try to give them options. So, for example, the individual market, if you're a plumber and it's you and your wife and you're the two of you and you're the insurance pool, it's a terrible place to be. But it's not part of the free market. It's an artifact of tax policy dating back to World War II that said insurance is going to be tied to employment. If we weren't doing that, and if we said to the people in the individual market, to the plumber, you can join the Chamber of Commerce, you can join the Plumbers Association, you can join the individuals that want to group together association and buy your insurance as a group, you could get a way out of that individual conundrum, and you could get group policies, and most of the group policies actually have things like pregnancy. If you work for General Motors, my guess is pregnancy is automatically in your insurance because you're a big group and you have the leverage to demand it from your insurance company.
So why not go for the biggest group of all and just have insurance for everybody?
Okay. Senator Rand Paul just made the case for Medicare for all. We're not talking about socialism. We are talking about something that works in every other part of the world except in America. Because you see, in every other part of the world, they realize, and this is what I submit to you, that no one is part of an individual market. We are all part of one market and one group. We are all Americans. And as Americans, healthcare should be a birthright. The free market will never treat healthcare the right way. It's not like car insurance. The free market should not determine whether you live or die. As he said, the individual market is a horrible place to be. The individual market is a horrible place to be. The individual market is a horrible place to be. So I submit to you, sir, that we should be in one group. And that's the group called Americans. And we should all be guaranteed health care. Now, these smart guys talk around Medicare for all. They talk around it because they know it's the only solution. They keep ignoring that it works in other parts of the world, and they ignore it, but it's the only solution. Even Senator Rand Paul, using logic, explained why Medicare for all is the only solution to our healthcare debacle. And that's my random and not so random thoughts on Senator Rand Paul endorsing Medicare for all.